Hello again for another session of the letter. On the last session, fucking Ashton route is finally over, so we don't have to worry about that guy. But if you need a quick final recap, we finally made it at the mansion. Everybody's there, kind of like the good old Smash Brothers kind of meme going on. And then finally, we just Ashton meets Luke, and they have a bit kind of a gun standoff. Now, we did see two endings to this game, just out of our morbid curiosity. Of course, we went with the route that he lives versus the one he died, much as we all want him to die for his countless amount of monologues. So, without further ado, we're gonna get out to our lovable, despicable Luke, who's, you know, he's all that. Let's get going. Oopsie! You gotta love it, man. Just embrace the monologue. Embrace the monologue. Silvia. All right, Maria. Return to the lisp. Sorry, I realize I have a slight technical difficulty here.
So he's calling him something in German, and I'm trying to figure out what it is. And the closest word I could pull.
Well, he's a sweetheart, obviously.
That I want to melt.
Oh.
Okay, I think I got it.
I didn't see this angle coming in this story.
Yeah, sorry. I just realized my recording desktop audio feed wasn't going through, so I had to fix that. But oh well, it's fine. It's a good thing I caught that early. Let us continue.
Oh, I just need something to focus on, and I should be fine. Wait, are you telling my lines earlier were not recorded? How dare you!
You don't know that?
How is she? Is she alright? If panic crept into my voice at the question, I don't let it show. Remember, this is actually me narrating. It's not being ghost-ridden like all the other characters. It would be a show of weakness to be so frazzled, to show so much concern over a woman who's going to put me aside. People like him who work for me, I trust with business, but not with myself. Never with that. Only Hana has come so close. Only she has truly seen the man beneath the facade. Only her actions can wound me so.
Alright, stop it for a second. Don't change it. I want to try to translate this. Because it's bothering me.
Sure.
Make sure you have the umlaut. That could be affecting
it translates to frightened.
What now?
It translates to frightened.
Frightened?
I spelled it wrong before. Frightened, like scared, frightened.
Basically what you were experiencing through phasmophobia.
Odd. Okay.
It makes even less sense than chocolate. Okay, I give up.
Okay.
Okay, whatever. Back to the game now.
Back to the game.
Alright.
Sleeping. Aside from a few bumps and bruises, she seems to be fine. A maid is watching over her for now. It is best not to leave her alone. But if I may ask, what happened? I was in the gardens when I heard something. I was in the gardens when I heard screaming. Did you fuck up again?
No, it wasn't me! It was Billy! I swear! I'm quick to be on the defensive.
Oh, sorry.
I'm going to be capable of a lot of horrible things, but I would never harm her of all people. Unlike Billy, no matter how angry I might become. I would never lay a hand on her to hurt her. I didn't do anything. I wouldn't do anything like that. I don't even have a reason to. You know, unless my relationship with her is absolute garbage.
You don't consider her wanting to be apart as reason?
Well, it is. I don't want to talk about it right now, okay? I made some bad decision choices earlier. But what happened was that I just got home and she was seizing in the kitchens. Is she ill?
Not that kind of doctor, but I've already scheduled your physician for a house call tomorrow morning. We'll still have to monitor her as soon as she wakes up, and...
Oh god, things are coming back to me. I need a drink of milk.
Really? You're still drinking?
Milk is good for the bones! And what?
That's all propaganda.
It is not! Why, yes, it seems to be the bloody best time to be drinking. I'm allowed, aren't I? After all, I just found my wife having a seizure, and I shouldn't give two shits about it, not when she's about to leave me. But I do. Goodness, I do. A big generous gulp just makes it so tasty that the taste of cherries, raspberries, and strawberries wash over my tongue. The thing sweet considering its deceptively earthly aroma.
I don't remember Luke being so...
A Vern's vineyard, seasoned red. Isn't really something to scoff at. I've had too many good memories. Look, with this particular drink.
I mean, he has a whole cellar of wine. It checks out.
Particular bottle.
He has a lot of words to talk about his wine, yeah.
I guess it's part of the narcissism kicking in, you know?
It serves the purpose Lady Blurnot has given it to me for. To forget. All the same, when I took this bottle of Pinot Noir, it is just a means to an end. I will probably have to finish the whole bottle to get drunk.
Why do you think
than I
I'm
really
leaving
am.
you, you drunk?
Because you said so in your route, dear.
So, is this drink like filled with helium? What happened?
He's just very drunk and upset.
But
Gotcha.
no, she doesn't need to be taken care of. If you want time apart, she'll have it. It'll break my
Thank
heart
you.
to just let her go, but she deserves this much, doesn't she?
I damn right do.
We both deserve this much. She's had her uses.
Oh shit!
Wow.
Ah
Wow.
shit!
I knew you used me
I
for my
swear,
family
there's
money.
context to this. I swear. She's done a lot for me in the 7 years we've been together. I pursued her at first for the money. It was supposed to be strictly business. There might have been a time too when I considered taking out of the picture so I could do with the money as I pleased. We all had
Wow,
demons in our
Jesus
lives.
Christ.
Hey, we all had demons in our past lives, okay? Don't judge me! I'd planned to manipulate her, and I feel horrible thinking about it. But along the way, I had changed, if only for her. Perhaps my father would scoff, tell me I've gone soft because he's a fucking douchebag. Maybe I have, but doesn't matter. 7 long years. The amount of time it took for Link to grow up in Ocarina of Time. It had its ups and downs, and it certainly hadn't been a perfect marriage. We had our, well, who hasn't had fights? My family fights all the time. But those small moments where we could just laugh and be our happy selves were always magical. They made it all these years worth it, and I have seen many more years to come. So where did I go wrong? Was it because I stopped watching the Muppets with her? Jesus Christ. I don't know how anyone can stand those puppets. But I've loved only 2 women in my life.
I love the Muppets. You're a monster, Luke.
Mother dear, bless her soul. And Hannah, who had been my sunshine for so long. Losing her, I fear that I might become more like my father. Had Damien Wright stayed with Mother or any of the other numerous women he's had a child with, would he have been less of an embittered shell of a man? Would having a darling love in his life made him a better person? Perhaps it is biased of me to doubt so. I don't think I could ever see the old man in a favorable light.
I'm just surprised you're not afraid. She might be leaving with delicate information.
I like that tongue click he did there.
I don't know what I'm doing with this character. I'm sorry.
I just love it. It's like, goddamn, that's some RP right there.
She might know something.
He's
She
been doing
hasn't-
like the evil glasses tilt thing.
That's his
not-
default pose.
Yeah, that's his default pose. He does that all the time. Don't pay attention to it. But if she hasn't done anything with the knowledge for this long, I don't think she would do anything now. Isn't that right, audience?
Yeah, I'm just going to
course
drink this
not.
water.
Sure.
Have faith in her. Jeez. If she had even an inkling of what I've done, what I'm capable of, she'll know it's not a good idea. Hannah's a smart woman. She wouldn't reveal that I secretly watch Goofy movie on my own spare time. I know! I know, it is a good movie. What's so wrong with watching it?
Yeah,
Smart, it's been very popular lately too.
yeah, especially with Extremely Goofy movie back on Disney Plus or something.
That's so cool. Oh, that movie was not as good.
I just like the disco.
yes, Goofy Discoing. Smart, kind, hardworking, generous, loyal. Never reveals that I watch Goofy movie. I could go on and wax poetic about her if I had any talent with the stuff. Why don't you sit down and have a drink with me? Don't worry, it's not poisoned or anything. I have to have you beat up intruders later.
Honestly, I wish it was poison so we can end this conversation sooner.
God.
I suppose there is no harm, though, if you're lonely.
Thank you. With a shake of my head, I procure another glass and pull some of the red wine. Watching the red liquid is fascinating all on its own with my muddled brain that I barely noticed sloshing some of it and staining my suit. It'd be an utter bugger to clean up, so I'm glad that it isn't my problem. Hang it over, I can't help but look up at the ceiling and let out a sigh. My eyes damp, glaze over though. I won't let it go further than that. Raising my own glass of toast, I clear my throat. We drink to... Do we really need a reason to? The world is messed up. Have you seen what 2021 is capable of in the past few weeks? War, terrorism, famine, poverty, loved ones and loved lost. The world's a cesspool. Might as well be drunk if we're not going to drown in it. If we're going to drown in it, I mean.
A bit less eloquent than your usual speeches, but the wall.
The world! A sip. A gulp. Refill. Rinse and repeat until the bottle of Veln had barely a fifth left. Must have dropped most of it because I barely see Schlocken take a sip after his first glass. It suddenly feels that way. I don't think I even think I can stand up, let alone walk. I'm all eagless. My mind just feels so funny and everything else is equally hilarious. Bloody hell, I think I can make out faces of a bald man on the wallpapers, with the butler also saying him. He looks like a skyscraper from where I'm seated. Jesus Christ, I have Sasquatch as a butler. Great, I have a great alcohol tolerance, so this, seeing as how I'm a giggling wreck right now, is, I assume, really bad. If there's any sober part left of me, I'd probably shrivel up and die just thinking of the hangover that'll come in the morning. But I can't help but get distracted at the sight of the moonlight peeking through the curtains. Shiny and shimmering, and it's absolutely splendid!
You want me to start playing Baka Mitai for you?
Baka mitai! Ko no nanane!
You ruined your own marriage, Luke. Thanks.
Dame nane! Dame yo! Even if the night brought calm! It is the moon that always enamored me so. It is a second sun, but just as beautiful as my sunshine. I'm walking on sunshine. I want to go out and look at the moon. Mommy, I can't feel my legs.
Bruh.
Where's the option where we can kill Luke? Sorry.
For I am not. Don't tell me I have to carry you upstairs to bed. I didn't sign up to be part of your harem.
I didn't even do nothing. I did my best to behave decent. Whiskey and Mint are just good friends, that's all. And that Rochelle woman's baby isn't mine. I swear, I couldn't love any other woman than Hannah.
I know Mint is Marianne. Who's Whiskey?
Whiskey isn't Rebecca?
I think it's Rebecca.
Yeah, it's probably Rebecca.
I thought Whiskey was Marianne.
Whiskey's
No,
Marianne.
Yeah, I think
Marianne.
Whiskey's Marianne.
Yeah.
Is
Oh.
Rebecca,
Well, it's one of the two.
He names
I think
women
that's
after the
Rebecca.
things they share.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
one
that's-
is Marianne and one's
Oh.
Rebecca.
Well, I couldn't just name them PogChamp, could I?
God damn it.
Okay? Do you know that I don't want to go into that right now. Hannah must be so tired. I'm a brat, aren't I? She said as such.
Kitty, please. Sorry, cat is attacking me with the cables again. No.
Seriously, the only good PogChamp emote so far has been when that Hearthstone player, Chris whatever, was made PogChamp for a day.
Alright, let's continue.
Really cool guy, by the way. I don't want Hannah to leave me, Joe. Oh god, she's the love of my life, you know. I'm a shite human being without her. I should sing a Muppet song. But I won't, because that would just make this dream recording session go on too long. Flowers! Lots and lots of flowers. All of the flowers. Enough to make the Queen's Gauze look like a fucking dumpster in comparison!
All well and good, but you are not achieving any of that while you are lying on the carpet. Now, if you can lift your skinny arse and work with me, eins, Thway? Thray? I know it's 1, 2, 3, but I don't know how to pronounce that.
But I don't want to go to bed. The moon is so pretty tonight. Fly me to the moon.
I suggest let you sleep on the ground, Bratwurst. That glasses shine. God.
Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day. Come on, Mummy. Wake up. I want to be in that play. Mummy, wake up. You promised that you'd help me practice my lines today. The auditions are tomorrow, so I have to practice. The last syllable of recorded time, and all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to Dusty. Mummy, are you... Oh. I choke back a scream and wake up in a cold sweat. With my heart pounding in my ears, it takes a while to remember where I am. In the dark and cold of the room, one can fault me for feeling ill at... Am I going to sleep in my business suit?
Hell yeah!
Was I sleeping on the bed in my suit?
You were super drunk.
You were kind of drunk.
Johannes didn't feel like it'd be
I mean,
right
you
to
knocked
take off
out.
your clothes.
And the artist never wanted to draw any more outfits for the character.
It's kind of like really hard
Honestly.
to like change to your bedtime clothes unless you're one of those people who sleep like almost naked.
Whatever. Next line, please. It isn't as bright as the penthouse, and the renovations did little to change how old it feels. I've been here for less than a week. It'll take a bit more time to adjust. It's hard to feel cozy, though, when I'm bloody freezing! Nudging the lamp of fabric next to me, I sigh. It's cold. Don't hug the sheets, Hannah. She always did this, though. It hardly matters to me anymore. Growing up, I was lucky I had something to use as a mattress. I'm not the one who grew up accustomed to Egyptian cotton with a thread count of 800. Besides, the warmth that Hannah exuded on her own is usually enough to keep me sleeping through the night. The temperature tonight must be something else with how chilly it is right now. I must be considerate. After all, the poor dear is ill, though I loathe to think about what had just transpired. Don't make me pull those sheets off you. That blanket is large enough to cover an elephant. You need to share. And please, don't let this be, some other woman. It takes a while.
What was that, honey? Apologies, I'm just in the loo, so if you can give me a moment.
Wait, what? There's no sign that they'll be moving where they lie. With care, I go for a knife hidden under the side of my bed. It would be foolish of me to instigate anything while I'm unarmed after all. I'm going to stab whoever's in this bed. To pull back the covers would be a more difficult affair, because reaching out to uncover who is underneath, I have to prepare for anything and assume the worst. If I so much as see the nozzle of a gun, there's going to be a murder tonight. I know they say not to bring a knife to a gunfight, but I think I can sink a blade in his liver faster than he can point and aim. I see the rise and fall of the sheets, though could easily be mistaken as the fault of the breeze. I hear the breathing. It's Barnaby, isn't it? A great sense of foreboding comes over me, making me hesitate with my plan.
Barnaby who?
You don't need to know. I swear, if this is Billy, I should just get Hannah and myself out here and not look back and let security handle it. That's what they're here there for.
Never really got me in bed, brother.
Billy, I am going to kill you in 10 seconds if you don't reveal that this is you under the sheets.
I'm underneath the bed. I'm not on the sheets. That's not weird.
Next line. Or maybe I should just man up. There's no way I'm risking the chance that inaction will put Hannah in danger. But what's the worst that could happen, right? I have no reason to be afraid. We all know I'll survive thanks to Ashton's dumbass route. There's no bogeyman under the bed, no monster in my closet. If anything, these things should be afraid of me. I'm Luke fucking right. Right? I grab a fistful of sheets and throw them aside.
Ooh, ooh.
Nothing. Nothing but a bunch of pillows stabbed back at me. Must be my imagination. I'd rather not think I'm going mad. It could very well be the stress getting to me. All this drama with Hana. I've been doing well all these years. All things considered, I guess I do have a breaking point. Still, the world goes on even if one cannot, and I must go along with it. I suppose a day off or two tomorrow wouldn't hurt. Rest aside from a few hours of sleep will be welcome. More than. But I can't shake off the unease. I dare say that I feel afraid, irrationally so, that something will come creeping and crawling from under the bed even as I lay down and close my eyes.
It's a Sunday.
It's almost Halloween. Yeah, our dreams don't linger, thankfully. But with the morning comes another disturbance. Both too loud and too sharp for my taste. And I have very fine taste, indeed. Brazzers? Bullshit. When the piercing rings of a doorbell reaches even the bedroom, I'm very much inclined to think the person who built this place lacks any sense of it. Perhaps the only good thing in this is the ruckus that has chased away the needling guilt from last night's commotion, if only temporary. Still, it's a bit bloody annoying as a distraction. I can't already tell it's going to be a long day. It hasn't even started yet. Before the racket even lasts another minute, I'm peeling myself off the bed and heading straight for the main door. There will be a murder today if this doesn't let up. How quaint. It seems everything in this blasted universe is intent on getting my nerves as of late. Gordon Bennett! Only a Nancy would knock at such an ungodly hour. In the first place, I shouldn't be the one doing this. This is why I hired a valet, for fuck's sake. Where's that damn butler when I need him? I'll be honest, if only for today. With the mansion this quiet at this hour of the morning, it's easy to believe those little ghost stories might be real. But the only horror here is how long Hana's patience with me will last after the incident at the party. Neither the deafening silence nor the biting chills spreading across every room in the place. There's no place for fear when another set of problems already burns that fuel. So I wait for another second. When no butler still answers my call, I simply yank the doors open myself, perhaps more force than needed. And
Sorry,
then
I'm playing Genshin.
And then I immediately committed a hate crime. Dead.
Oh no.
Oh shit! I'll come back later. I see you busy.
And maybe it should be appropriately there, considering the person on the other side of the hour, he dared appeal on my doorstep. Even someone with half a brain knows not to stop anyone this early. And he's still wearing the same jacket as when I saw him last time. Seriously, does this man ever change clothes?
Do you?
No.
You don't either.
Yeah, to you, brother.
Pot calling kettle.
Excuse me, at least my suit doesn't have wrinkles.
Bruh.
You slept in it. What do you mean?
It has a
Why
wine
for
stain.
you and possibly for him and Marianne.
Ugh. Brief confusion quickly gives way to anger. Before the bloody photographer can even get a word in, I'm hurling venom at him. Very racist venom that has to be censored. It's less than he deserves, really. Hana will disapprove, scolding me for treating the photographer with such disrespect if she hears me right now. But who the fuck cares? She seems fond of him, after all, despite meeting him only once or twice. He's merely doing his job, she'll say. But she's not here, isn't she? What she doesn't know. You! How the hell did you get in here? Why are we repeating this scene? What in seven hells do you want? It's bloody 6 in the fucking morning!
Oh, can I speak? You've been sitting there thinking for a long time. You remind me of a friend of mine. Listen, sir, I know this is not a good time.
What? I had to look up what a minga was. Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that. Ahem. Oh, it's not a good time. Did you even check the clock before coming here? I bet you didn't.
Well, if you need
That's a personal thing.
if you need to know what the definition of minger is, it's an unattractive or unpleasant person or thing. Let's continue.
Were you playing a YouTube video in the background earlier?
No. Maybe.
Then what? Then
That
what
sounds
was that?
serious.
What was that scratchy female sound?
It was just Siri, you know? I had it with an Australian accent.
Why Australia? That place is garbage.
Look, it's the place where the toilet spins the other way.
Oh,
Mine's
what-
Australian. I just think it's fun.
Oh, it's not a good time. What? Australia, good. What? They banned hentai there.
Well,
Fuck them.
once you get used to no hentai and the lack of, like, well, pesticides for certain
Everything
animals,
tries to kill you in Australia.
I mean,
Yeah.
I know
Did
the
you even
huntsman's
check the
fetish.
clock before
Even
coming
hentai.
here?
Sorry. Well,
Yes. Yes. Oh, God. This is still my home. My rules also apply to this place as much as Hana's do. As simple as that. Unlike you, the ones living in this house needs to sleep. Except for my butler, he's busy trying to get the Cocoa Goat and get to Impact right now. It just so happens it's also a person I will never take a liking to. No need for remorse. Come back when people are actually awake, or I'll call security on you. He continues shouting even as I slam the door on his face, and then pull a gun out at him for good measure.
Oh, damn it.
God
I missed a good opportunity there. Like, he's knocking
Like
at the door. He's
that.
like, hey, look, could you just tell me, is Hana home?
Oh no!
That's all I want to know.
Why do you ask? You minga.
Oh, God.
Some nonsense
Yeah,
about the
that's just-
news not lately, though I don't understand most of it. However, with the closed doors muffling the better part of it, with no ears to listen, his tirade doesn't last too long. Eventually, he leaves, and silence once again fills the room, as it should. Although if we had gotten to his bad ending, he would be getting beaten up right now. But we'll ignore that. In hindsight, maybe I should call for psychiatric services. He certainly sounds mento just screaming like that. A suspicious man like him left roaming the immediate grounds. Nothing good can come of it. But his presence will indeed bring a problem, a sign of bad things to come. I'll probably know soon enough. Worst comes to worst, Dawkin will take care of it if need be, as soon as he stops playing that Genshin Impact rubbish. It's what I'm paying him for. Wait, pay Are you wailing with my money, Shogun?
Damn, bro. No, it's like you're a super whale if you get somebody to play Genshin for you.
Listen, I got Ningguang. It was worth it. Okay.
Alright.
You had better at least get the Cocoa Goat, okay? Cocoa Goat is busted.
Oh shit.
It's true too. She is really busted. In the meantime, the bigger problem at hand, a hangover. Maybe I'll have some absinthe to temper it, dog hairs, or some wine to help me get back to sleep. It's still early. One glass won't hurt. Or two. Whatever the case, I need to think. Whatever that would lead me to. It's nothing. Everything leads to nothing. Except for this pounding headache as if my mind will burst anytime leak out of my ears. My vision swims in and out of the view. My stomach threatens rebellion with plans of making me throw up what little food I've taken and with how my mouth feels like it's filled with cotton. One would think that the fact that I'm hungover would make me the grumpiest person in the world. But as it is, my eyes move over to Hana, who is stirring sugar in her tea and scowling down at it, all the while as I just murdered a baby in front of her. I have half the mind to bemoan my current state and make a fool of myself just to make her smile. I'm rather good at bemoaning. Not that I would admit that. Why, I'm already adopting the posture of a whiny teenager as I speak, slouched forward with my cheek on the table. Oh, I'm dying. Oh god, I'm dying! Hana, your highness, call an ambulance, please! Let me know that I leave all my belongings to Hana right near Evans. Everything but 30,000 quid. I see a bright light.
What is that expression?
I don't know. That looks like the pull, like when you pull a 10, use your money, and they're all nothing but weapons instead of like.
Oh god, yes. See, that happened, and it was bullshit. The absolute trash!
Alright, let's continue.
Yeah, whoever says that gold is the color to use for your sorority or whatever is a fucking liar!
That's what I wish.
Yeah, gold, the 40 increase, it doesn't do jack shit! Mother dearest, is that you? Little Lucille's on his way home. I'm so sorry. But I must leave you, Hana. Cover my face. Your eyes dazzle. I die young. That much I can manage through the hangover, a thing entirely of my fault, considering I twice drunk the night before. Another thing I will never admit. Really, it's a miracle I haven't accrued alcohol poisoning yet.
Oh, stop being so freaking melodramatic, Luke. Besides, you never lived on a farm. You hate farms. We're not bringing you to the freaking hospital for a hangover. They have COVID issues. Really, one would think you'd be used to it by now with how stubborn you are about your drinking. Dare I ask what the 30,000 quid is for? Is it for a Genshin pool?
The Coco Goat must be achieved! C6 Constellation Coco Goat is the most beautiful thing in existence!
Oh god.
It pulls a small smile from her for a moment, but the pinched look on her face returns quickly enough.
He lost a bet with Robert and Elise after a night of drinking at the crawl, 10,000 each. And another 10 to me. Coco Goat is imminent.
It better be. Because if you can't get her with 10,000, then that banner is truly cursed. The sneer that makes its way on my face doesn't hold as much heat as it usually does. It's just a bit of friendly ribbing. Though I still wish he wouldn't tattle. Waifus are expensive, okay? Of course, it was my fault for mentioning the money. I wasn't like anyone would notice 30 grand missing from millions, though. Could get all the Genshin Impact characters and all the constellations maxed out. That's how much I spent on a normal weekend. Oh, must you be such a teacher's pet? I told you not to talk about it.
I'm having second thoughts about moving to the penthouse if this is what you do and I'm not looking. How much have you spent on Genshin?
No comment. I'm almost forgotten about that little arrangement, too.
It's like I imagine, like, he gets like a huge letter of appreciation. It's like, hey, thank you, Value Genshin customer, for spending like $500,000 worth of Genshin.
Well, have you seen the numbers Genshin Impact makes, okay? They owe me!
You basically practically like a indirect stock market.
Line!
Discussion of
Line!
I'm sorry.
Shame. Hopefully, that's the reason why she's so intent on glaring at the table until its varnish peels off. The alternative would be sobering. It was that one time. I'm not a child in need of minding or mother's hands. And as much as I'd love for you to stay, you said you need some time to yourself. Don't let the fact that I lost a bet once make you think I have to be supervised.
It wasn't. I'm just worried about you, Luke, darling. I'd be less so if you actually sat up and weren't slouching like an angry teenager.
Why are you worried about me? I'm more concerned about what your doctor told you. How did the house call go? I didn't want to intrude on her privacy when the doctors arrived, a ridiculous sentiment considering I'm still her husband. But it wasn't like I could have done any good being there with nursing a hangover and all. However, part of me feared what would be said, not to mention, I trust that Hana would tell me if it's something serious. Of course, it probably is something bad, and I would be a fool to hope otherwise. I found her having a seizure, for goodness sakes. I should have rushed her to the hospital as soon as she awoke, but it's her insistence that kept me at bay. A cup of tea finds itself in my hands, an attempt to appease me, no doubt. But don't bother to drink, let alone look up. If anything, I just press my forehead on the table to hide the childish pout on my lips. Not that it's any better.
It's fine. The physician, he took some of my blood, and he scheduled me for a few lab tests tomorrow morning. I've already called for a driving attendant to accompany me, so there's no need for you to worry, darling.
And what? You'll just be leaving me behind then? And I don't think you should be going anywhere alone.
You hate hospitals even more than you hate farms, Luke. And Kylie's coming for your playdate tomorrow, remember?
Oh no.
Oh no. Ah,
Relax. I'm taking Johannes with me if it makes you feel better.
Her Dr. Hobbs asks that I keep her under observation for the time being. Naturally, I'll be reporting my findings at the hospital in between my Genshin dailies.
God damn. You
Mhm.
should get sponsored by Genshin at this rate.
Unfortunately, that's very unlikely to happen. There are a bunch of people who play that game that aren't getting sponsored. So
Yeah, they don't need to pay for PR, but honestly, we are mentioning them a lot. But anyways.
well, why not? The Cocoa Goat's hot right now.
Man, I wish we could sponsor this and just tell them, hey, you don't even have to pay us money. We just want the Cocoa Goat guaranteed to drop or something. Alright, anyways, let's continue. Wait, you read this line already, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sitting up, I run a finger over the rim of my teacup and mull it over. I do hate the bloody place. I thought huddling shotgun would have been enough for me to avoid the place. Apparently not. Bloody doctors and bloody sick people. I don't want to catch anything contagious. I can't even tell crying people to shut up if they get too annoying, respecting the grief of my ass. Save for a life and death situation, I'd rather avoid the mass graveyard that hid beneath the sterile air and white tiles and... Nick, did you change your avatar?
Yeah, perhaps. I did that at the start of the stream.
I just noticed now.
Match Maria's, yeah.
I guess you two can go without me then. Whatever. But I can't believe how naturally you two conspire behind my back. Don't expect my help if those bloody doctors bleed you too dry. Vampires, every single one of them. Not as bad as lawyers and politicians, but close enough. You do know Kylie will be upset when she finds out you're not here tomorrow. Again. Hannah?
Sorry. She'll be happy enough to spend time with her fairy godfather, I'm sure. You're a good role model for her, despite all your whining childish behavior.
No matter how many times Hannah claims that whining is unbecoming of me, I never listen, okay? Kylie is a demon.
Hush.
It is not like anyone that matters is here to judge. Well, it's not like anyone else actually matters. I'll whine if I bloody well want to, and I'll be no lesser because of it. Of course, I will not tolerate another person's whining.
Hypocrite.
Sorry, rules for thee, but not for me. Except perhaps for Hana, but she hardly ever does that. Even right now, I can see as a look of pain passes on her face and her hand goes to her stomach. Yet she keeps quiet, not bringing it up or complaining. What should I do?
Alrighty.
Ask if she's alright.
Call an ambulance. Just kidding. So, gonna ask her if she's alright? Or do you want to call an ambulance like a panicky boy?
I feel like I was just asking if she's alright. Like, he might not want more people showing up to his place. If it's
Not to mention,
medical
ambulances are fucking suck.
it's super expensive too, yeah.
Well, I
I
don't
mean,
know how
who
it is
doesn't
in
care about
the
money,
country
but-
they're in, but...
On UK land, where
Oh, right, they probably have national health care, and
Yeah.
plus they're rich.
A speedy
Yeah.
service. Alright.
Can't relate.
Ask if she's alright. I feel like if you force the ambulance, she'll fight with you, and that's gonna be a mess.
That's what we want, right? Fighting.
The thing is, we
Fair.
fight, build our relationship last time we fought a couple of times, remember?
That's right. He likes when women
Oh,
argue
yeah.
with him.
But does Hana like resistance or to fight?
Well,
I say call for an ambulance. I actually don't know what the context is.
you know, I listen to Zach. He's like the Nostradamus of like rich like relationships with Luke.
Yeah, homegirl had a seizure and now she's still having like abdominal pain. She might lie and say she's okay, in which case she might die later. I don't know if we want that on our hands. But if we call for an ambulance and she actually is fine, that could hurt us. We might be seen as over controlling. So I don't know.
I mean, if I leave the mansion, if I get dragged off in the ambulance, how will I ever save Marianne? I mean, though actually,
I'll chase her out of. Oh wait, maybe that's a good idea. It would get her out of the mansion.
Yeah.
That's not gonna work though. She still has to be inside the mansion when
then I won't
everyone
save
else
things,
comes.
damn
We
it.
can't.
Oh, well.
Have a split timeline.
Yeah,
Who's
you
split
can't
too?
split the timeline like that.
Yeah,
You
I'm
don't
sure
really
Jess
have a
is right.
choice.
For ambulance.
Gonna call for an ambulance then?
I wouldn't make
Ambulance.
an ass out of Luke.
I vote ask if she's all right, but I think I'm in the minority.
So call for an ambulance.
Alright, so let's get the final tally here. How many for vote for ambulance? Say aye.
Aye.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go for that.
Okay,
Oh,
there's
wow.
five
Five.
people.
That's a lot
Five
more
people.
than I thought.
Alright. Let's call ambulance. Holy
There's no
shit,
thought-
we're actually calling the ambulance.
It just went right for it.
There's no thought behind it as I procure my mobile for my. Do you think I was bluffing? As I procure my mobile from my pocket and dial emergency
I thought
services.
he was just gonna be serious and just still thinking just call the fucking ambulance, not pull out your fucking.
He has a 1-speed dial.
Alright, anyways.
You're the one who chose that decision, not me.
Well, as a.
Okay, you are my ghost writers. Remember that.
Alright.
Afterwards, we need to check our relationship. I want to see what this turned us.
The curious looks thrown my way are largely ignored when I get up to my feet and make my way to the door. Johannes, go and bring the car around. We'll meet the ambulance halfway in Anselm.
Ambulance? Luke, I'm fine. There's no need to call for a frickin' ambulance.
Yes, there is. Hobbs is obviously a gormless, incompetent muppet if he can't get you a hospital appointment today. After you've had a bloody goddamn seizure that, I'm not waiting till you have another one. With my back turned to them, I didn't expect any sort of resistance. So I was largely unprepared as Hana grabs my hand and tries to take the phone away from me. It takes a bit, of course, considering how weakened the woman is with her recent condition. But I do not wish to hurt her by accident. She soon starts the phone out of my hand in protest, and I can only stare, wide-eyed and furious. What in blazes are you doing, Hana? Emergency 112. This is being recorded. What's your emergency?
This is our Schwarzenegger. Like.
He
It's like.
he's got to keep up work, you know.
You know what? I would like to take over dispatcher as our Schwarzenegger.
I am fine, Luke. There is no need for an ambulance.
We are not taking any chances with your health, especially since you insist that you'll be leaving soon. I do not want to visit one day only to find you bedridden in need of a nursemaid, or worse. Hello? Do we need to send the police to bring up a domestic dispute?
Oh shit.
Does pause
Uh-oh.
as the dispatcher's voice continues to ring out on the thing's speakers. It is all ill-timed and unwelcome, but that doesn't change the fact that it was already said. Domestic dispute. The words put a bitter taste in my mouth. What would the others think if they hear this? It's not true, of course. We are merely arguing. This is normal. People argue. Our shouting starts, but neither of us make a move to pick it up until the butler does to answer. Shotgun?
My apologies. It is a mistaken dial. But dial, as you say. But there is nothing to worry about. It's just a young couple being melodramatic. You know how they are nowadays.
Why do you have the emergency number on what dial? Can we verify with the affected parties? I want to scream. There's something fine about this, but Anna shouts and her words make me forget what I was saying in the first place.
I am fine. I just need some tea, some rest, and some peace from you.
Why exactly did you make me worse and make my relationship even worse? You fucking ghostwriters. You are scum! Scum, I tell you! The anger in her voice is palpable. The way she looks at me, brows furrowed and mouth nearly as snow, has me reeling.
I thought the point was to like make it worse as possible with her.
Of course, she doesn't want me around. That's probably why she's leaving after. It's too late for the consequence of my relationship with her being terrible! We already passed Hannah's chapter! She wants her space. My ass! It's all a bunch of excuses. A bunch of bollocks. Then the anger dies away and her face goes pale, eyes wide as she realizes what she's done. There's regret, but it's already been said and those words cannot be taken back.
I'm so sorry, Luke. I didn't mean it this way. You're just...
What? Nosy, annoying, overbearing, belligerent, not wanted, stressful to be around? Please, do go on, continue what you're saying before I so rudely
all of those
interrupted you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, cool. I can just stay behind.
wasn't going to say any of that. Luke,
No, actually, you know what? You're so desperate to be rid of me, I'll give you that satisfaction. You don't need to suffer my presence any longer. I'm going out for a walk. I'm going out for a walk every time now, son. Don't bother waiting up for me.
What, are you gonna go out and get cigarettes or something?
I walk out of the I walk out of the parlor, raging my every step.
He's
That's
gonna go
fine.
get some milk. He'll be back in 18 years.
See,
Yeah, that did go down. Yeah.
Well,
Oh wow, we went down.
he went down.
Well, it was already pretty low to begin with, so. Okay, I already read this line, so next line, please. Neither of them bothers to follow, which suits me just fine. But when I realize I still have the teacup in my hand, I can't stop myself from throwing it across the room.
That is random and unnecessary.
Porcelain shatters as it hits the wall and the tea spills across the carpet. Take that, Mrs. Potts. Outside, I need to go
That would
outside.
have been Chip, but
Ah, who the fuck cares? Outside, I need to go outside. Away from this house, away from them. I need to breathe. Breathe. Gray skies loom over the horizon, though. The sun fights for every precious minute it gets to stay. It'll rain again soon, with the wind bringing across the gloomy clouds normal to Luxburn. And until then, it doesn't hurt to be out here for fresh air and sunshine. Ah, sunshine. I'm walking on sunshine. I walk to the gardens, what little there's at the moment anyway, kneel by the daffodils. These were the first to be brought here and planted on my request. And if
why
nothing
you
else,
singing?
they brought in a sense of peace. These were mother's favorites. I forget who sings that song, actually. Was it Brady Bunch?
It's been a
We're
while.
walking on sunshine?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh, it's Katrina and the Waves. Right. Anyways, next line, please. That's where I heard Brady Bunch, though. Closing my eyes, I lift my chin up to welcome the light that shines upon me. And for a minute, I can imagine myself as one of the flowers, peaceful, blooming, and all too happy to stand in its warmth. Life would be much easier if we were all like flowers, wouldn't it? But I didn't step out here to get all philosophical. I have problems, much more practical than figuring out the meaning of life, after all. Too many things have gone on in the past few days. I want to forget about them, even for just a moment. It's almost All Saints, isn't it? To think I've almost forgotten. I speak the words absent-mindedly. The date means nothing to me, as I neither worship the religion nor have any graves to visit. After all, Mother was never given a proper burial. We just burned her ass. But it's a date as good as any for me to grieve. Otherwise, I would never have done so every single day, crippling myself and shutting everyone else out. I can remember how the flames licked at her flesh and how it consumed her body until there was nothing left. Oh, we really did set on fire. Until there was nothing left but ash. I stood there, watching with the operator and a social service worker that could have been alone for all I cared. I felt alone. So alone. Dame donne! Dame yo! Dame nado yo! It was the most that could be done. No one would attend the funeral of a dead prostitute, let alone pay for it. Dole de que! All that's left of her, proof that she had lived, is a name written in the ledger of Luxburn Cemetery, a lighter, and me. pulling out the lighter from my jacket. I can't stop myself from flicking it open to set the flame to run my thumb over her name. All in all, it isn't much, but it is something. It'd be wrong of me not to make something myself when she could have given everything to make sure I would become anything I want to be. Feels like I'm stuck in a nightmare right now. What I would give to have you here by my side, mother dear. To see you smiling at me, alive and as beautiful as ever. I'm afraid I'm starting to forget what your face looks like. I've forgotten the shade of your hair. Eleanor Chandler was a wonderful woman, though not everyone would have agreed. Not everyone had seen past her occupation, past her vices, and her illness. She would put Betty White to shame. All they saw was a poor woman who sold her body to make ends meet and had a bastard son because of it. What does the world have against prostitutes? Huh? What? They didn't see the woman who worked hard to put food on the table for me. The woman who gave and gave and gave to me while expecting nothing in return. She taught me the merits of hard work, but though I loved her so, I worked hard for myself. I would not be so foolish, so selfless towards people who would never give back. I learned that from the father who plucked me out of an orphanage for his own selfish gain. Mr. Kaiba. What a fucking asshole. Suck my balls, Kaiba. I pocket the lighter before I feel the urge to actually set anything ablaze. Considering my close proximity to the flowers, they would be the most likely victim of arson. Just the thought itself is blasphemous. Nevertheless, that doesn't save them from being picked, just enough to make a bouquet of other things in honor of Eleanor. Eleanor Rigby, da 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 da. Would you be so proud of me if you saw me now, mother? Maybe. You were always so forgiving, no matter what trouble I got into, more than I deserved, especially now. It's been a while since I've talked to my mother like this. I've been thinking of both my dear parents far too much as of late, when I shouldn't. I have a future to look forward to and the present to take care of. These memories of the past give me nothing but grief. The life of Lucille Mitchell Chandler should be nothing but a footnote in Luke Wright's non-existent autobiography. It's because of Hannah, isn't it? I worry that she is all too much like mother, that it scares me, and the thought that I'm turning into my father is even more so. But even if history is set to repeat itself, I'm not a child anymore. Content to sit aside, unable to do anything to help, and too inexperienced to think that the worst wouldn't happen. I have money to buy the best medicines and doctors if need be. She'll get better, she has to. And once we get over this little bump in the road, I can stop worrying. I'll be right with the world. Unfortunately, my time alone is cut short, though.
I don't know who this is.
I'll voice this.
Gardener?
I think those flowers look beautiful, my lord.
Lord?
The parlor, the room where the lady stays for her tea, could certainly use some.
Okay, the voice is not familiar, though I'm not really one to remember such things.
Ooh,
Going with her attire, I would say she's one of the housekeepers. Strange, considering I sent all the staff but Johannes away. And her face, as pretty as it is unfamiliar to me.
It looks like the ghost.
Thank you for the foreshadowing. It would be a lie if I said that it didn't set me on edge. Most would say that I care little for my employees. That isn't entirely untrue. I'm like Ebenezer Scrooge. However, I like to think I know the people who work for me, especially those who would run my house, even just a face and a name. Besides, I remember a beauty such as her. So, who is this? If she is someone impersonating household staff to get in, she's doing a bad job of it. Did you get the memo? Are you new? Today is a day off. You aren't supposed to be here. I expect poor excuses and apologies the likes of her often give, but she merely smiles.
Oh no. I've been a servant here since you first came.
I see no sense of lying nor hearing her words, yet that can't be true. But I find that I feel like I can relax. She has a sort of smile that makes one's kindness shine through without words or actions. It reaches her eyes, filling them with strange sort of mirth. She just thought something very funny. Perhaps had it been any other person, I would interpret it as a deceitful grin. But the curl of her lips and the shine of her eyes are too soft to hold any malice. Takes my silence as a sign that she can continue. And it's not like I feel any urgency to stop her. I'm not really in the mood for company. But I'm not averse to it at the moment either. Entertaining a beauty like her, even for a little while, wouldn't hurt. It helps that she proves easy to listen to despite how oddly she speaks.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I shouldn't have bothered you. Look at me, talking to the master of the house without even asking for permission. What will the others think? If you'll excuse me, I'll just...
I haven't driven you away yet, have I? And it's your day off. I don't see why we can't chat a bit.
Of course, if that is what you wish. As long as it does not get you in trouble with the lady.
Ooh, hey.
To even take time for someone as lowly as me. No wonder that everyone under the mansion's employ is so fond of you. Though it should have been no surprise to me. You have always been such a kind and loving lord.
I had to stop myself from calling her out on her shite. It's only she's talking about an entirely different man. No matter how big my ego gets, I know for a fact that I'm hardly in the running for Best Boss of the Year award. The only reason that most of my staff say is because of the decent compensation. I'm not cheap. But she wants to lay it on thick, I'll allow it. Who wouldn't want a beautiful woman complimenting them? I'm sure she'll be fine with this. We're just talking after all. Unless you had other things on your mind when you approached me. The words leave my mouth before I even realize what I've said. I panic a bit. Though I can get away with picking up women out of the city, sometimes even out of the county. I'm always taking care not to do so in my home or in my business. Not when it'll be so easy for Hana to find out my infidelity through these channels.
Wait, you are cheating on me? Jeez.
You can't prove anything, dear. Though seriously, I still don't see what the big deal about it is. I just have an itch I need to scratch. And beautiful women come with very good scratches.
Oh, God.
What?
What?
I know it must be amusing to see a girl flustered for a man of your stature, but please don't say such things, my lord. I saw you alone and simply thought you could use some company.
Thankfully, and I do count my lucky stars, seems the woman takes it as a joke rather than the casual pass it was intended to be. So, how are you liking your work around the mansion? The place is wonderful, but I imagine the upkeep is ungodly with all the rooms and whatnot. I don't even want to think about it now after how many people... I don't want to think about how many people on the staff roster. It's more than the Muppets.
Work is work, my lord. It is a way of living, a purpose. From day to day, it's certainly far better than doing nothing or having no food to eat. And the house itself is also beautiful. There's no lack of things to look at. I'm sure you've seen those books in the study. I can't read any of them yet, but if given the chance, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have been thinking of those things. Especially when there rains. They might bring more work to us soon. It will definitely be much more difficult when it returns. What? Idling about is the least I should be.
I guess you can put it that way if you want to be brutally honest about the whole thing, and the rain shouldn't be a problem. Hopefully, maybe. If a little dreary, at least she doesn't beat around the bush. I like the honesty. Many would bemoan their status as a household staff or as a janitor or other menial role and believe themselves to be for greater things. And I would not begrudge the idea that one can always get better. But one shouldn't be so discontent with what they have either.
The rain is something I simply must get accustomed to if I am to live here. I've not spent long in this place, after all. But I have been told that it has rained in this nation since a mother's time and their mother's time. There is little we can do about it. I'm just glad to have time in the sun, even for a short while.
Is that the truth? Really, these sunny days have been welcome, though I can't imagine they'll last for long. Sometimes I just want to pack my things and leave for somewhere like, say, the Bahamas or whatnot. Get some sun and surf.
But certainly we will return for us, won't you? This is your home, after all. Your people, they won't be pleased if the master of the house leaves.
Of course, can't very well leave my business hanging here, can I? I just wish I could actually trust people enough to go on a vacation without taking work with me. I've also got to get back here if I ever want proper meals. The proper pudding is something you'll never find out there. The woman nods in understanding, and I must say that she makes for a fine listening ear.
Not the pudding.
Though, what she says next gives me pause, whether she meant for me to hear it or not.
In good tea, from what the cook has been telling me, I've yet to learn to prepare one. Perhaps since I do, it would endear the lady of the house to me. I never expected her to be so unkind after what she did for me. Though it's only if one catches her in a foul mood, I wish I knew how to avoid her anger.
I highly doubt she means Hana. That woman really has a mean bone in her body. And when she actually is nasty towards someone else, it's usually deserving enough, much like with that Rochelle woman. Hell, she even tolerates Harvey for me, even if she did admit she doesn't quite like the man. She must mean the head housemaid, right? I have to laugh at that. Not that I have room to speak. I don't deal with her myself anymore, though. Even Johannes has a few words about choice words about the head hag. She's just been under the right employer when she was also head housemaid for my father. If anyone's not going to get along with someone, it'd be that crotchety old woman. She's more annoying than Oldbag from Phoenix Wright. Fuck that bitch.
Oh god.
I don't even remember her name. But the woman had been this strict, upstart bitch who took one look at me, her master's bastard son, and turned her nose up, and she was better by mere consequence of birth. That, and she actually loathed my very existence. Perhaps the rumors had been true. She had a miscarriage while bearing another one of her dear father's children, and she saw me as an obstacle to her being granted to a better standing in life. I remember that much, at least. The only reason I haven't sacked her yet is because of her competence. Also because working under the household makes her absolutely miserable. Her resignation made impossible by her pride. Nobody really gets along with that woman. I think everyone just tolerates her because of how old she is. Just like Clovis Leachman. I mean, not to be rude or awful or anything, but she's at this age where she'll be pushing daisies soon enough.
Is she? Really, my lord? I'm sure the lady is much younger than that.
I think the thought of tormenting the young and the beautiful gives her reason to live.
It does seem that way, though I feel sorry for her. One's life should not be wasted away on hatred and anger. It's never good for the heart of the head to always carry ill thoughts. But at the least you are here from us. We are lucky, so lucky to have a lord like you, the lady even more so. The
Maid?
God smiled down upon her, though if I may be honest, She's to be envied.
Even when I have my suspicions about her, she's just so easy to talk with that I've forgotten. I don't know who she is, and if she's actually one of the household staff, that would explain why she would so easily give obviously wrong statements about my character. Though if she is here for malicious reasons, she would have done more than do small talk with me by now, wouldn't she? I have so many questions. Perhaps curiosity will kill this cat. It's strange that I've never seen you before. What's your name?
You do not remember, my lord?
I don't believe you mentioned it. Or am I missing something?
You still cannot comprehend it, can you, my lord?
Her answer chips away at the good mood I'm starting to get into. I have every right to be angry at the cryptic response. She threatens insubordination with her very presence alone. But instead of hurling vitriol at the woman, I take a deep breath. I do not want my mood ruined further than it already is. Not right now, when I can let my temper take its course another time. Whatever your name is, and no matter how long you've been working for us, that does not change the fact that you shouldn't be here. I'll call you a cab to bring you to the city if you want.
Shouldn't I? What if I do not wish to leave?
Oh, whoa.
I merely desire to stay by your side and serve. Is that such a deplorable thing?
Her gaze sent chills down my spine. It's too easy to see the devotion, the obsession in her eyes. Not the good sort either, as her scrutiny makes me feel like I'm laid bare. She's a yanderer, I know it! The office of her presence is all the more palpable with the feeling of bugs crawling on my skin, and the signs that make it seem as the word has stopped.
And you're all blushy too, jeez.
I have a yanderer fetish, okay? Any friendly atmosphere we might have had going for us is completely forgotten. Danger. A small part in the back of my mind screams, the part that's kept me alive all these damn years. And in hindsight, I'd be stupid not to take heed of it. But I've grown arrogant, complacent, and content to hide behind wealth and power. Yes, it's a deplorable thing, as you said, because I'd like to be alone now, thank you very much. If you didn't want the day off, you should have reported to your superior. This is utterly unprofessional of you and shall be issuing complaints. In fact, if you know what's good for you, you should start looking for another employer. Is that my threat that the smile on her face turns tight?
I see. It escapes you still. This is unfortunate. How despairing that this misery must still go on. But maybe, if you come with me, I can help you. I can.
When she reaches out for me, I recoil with a hiss. How dare you lay your filthy hands on me without my permission! I am not going anywhere with you. Now step back and walk away before I have you forcibly removed!
Oh no.
As if a switch had been flipped, the woman's expression turns horrific. Although that may very well be the understatement of the century.
Oh, God.
She herself turns horrific. Her presence is suffocating, bearing down on me. I'm wounded on the spot through no fault of my own as my fear paralyzes.
You are too much like that vile woman, poisoned by her rotten influence and her filthy words. But that can be remedied now that you're here. Oh, how we have waited to welcome you home. Come, my lord, the house beckons.
When her fingers grasp the back of my coat, I finally find it in me to break off into a run and scream like a little girl. No! I still feel eyes on me as I ran back to the house.
Drug, big brother.
Billy, listen. It's terrible, okay? I'll have to tell you later. But first...
Yep. Just got spooked by something. By like a little bee.
But I refuse to acknowledge it, let alone look back. All I need is to get away from her and to make sure she stays away. If that means acting like a coward and seeking out company to keep me safe, nobody can tell me to do otherwise. Bravery isn't something to be lauded if it comes along with stupidity. It must have been a sight to see the usually composed and reserved Luke Wright bursting through the doors. Not that I have much of an audience unless there are other staff members who chose to disregard my orders for them to leave. Really, I still doubt that woman is one of the staff. Mustering up the courage, I look back to the window to see if she followed me. She's gone. But I don't take any chances, putting as much distance as I can between us.